Alright, the next thing we are going to discuss is your F2 menu, the job menu you have. Everything in there is pretty easy, self-explanatory. You just have to just let you know what everything does. So we're gonna start with check ID. Check ID is basically when you are interacting with a suspect and now you have a proper reason to search him or check his ID, or your traffic stop and now you want to see his ID, so they either go ahead and show you their ID using this option, or if they're just failing to do so, or they ask you to take their ID because they cannot show you the ID in some reason for technical problems or something like that, you go ahead and press on check ID. Now you have the ID of this person standing right in front of us, his name, his job, his sex, date of birth, and so ever. Pretty easy, something you will be using a lot. Next thing is going to be search. So now when you have a proper cause to search someone, if you detain them or if you have a reason that they might have been involved in any illegal thing, you go ahead and approach the suspect. Next thing you do is search, and now you will see everything they have in their inventory. So you will see a knife, a pistol, taser, pump shotgun, flashlight, and whatever other items they have, contract and magazines. If they also have any drugs on them or any medkits, you will be also able to locate everything in there. When you're arresting someone and bringing them to the jail, you should always make sure that you confiscate everything on them, because once you jail them and they have weapons on them, they are just easily able to take the weapons out and shoot you. This is something you really don't want to encounter in the building. So in order to confiscate anything while you are searching them, you go to any item and you just, all you do is you press enter on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and confiscate a knife, and now it tells me that you confiscated knife from Reed Roberts, and that's how it goes. Next thing we will discuss is handcuff. It's pretty easy when you approach the suspect. It doesn't really matter which side you're approaching him with, but let's say for RP scenarios, you approach him from the back and you go and handcuff them. The animation will start. Once that happens, you will see the Miranda rights popping on the right side of your screen. Make sure you always read the suspects their right, unless you are detaining them. So if you are detaining a suspect just to investigate some situation, or you have some reason to believe they are acting suspicious and you have some questions, so you are allowed to detain them, not arrest them, just detain them. And for detaining people, you don't need to write them their Miranda rights. But once you decide they are going to be arrested, or once you are arresting anyone, you have to read them their rights. Once you are done with reading the rights, you just go ahead and flex your E muscle and the message will go. And now if you want to move the suspect, because once you handcuff a suspect, he is no longer able to move, to switch his camera or do anything. He's literally, all he does is just like standing still. He cannot do anything. So you are in control of this person. What you have to do is go ahead and drag. You can always move them whatever you want. If you arrested someone or detain someone in the middle of the street, make sure you always take them to the sidewalk so no one gets hurt. And once you get them in there, you go ahead and click on drag again, and now they're undragged, so you can move and they were still there. If you want to put them inside your vehicle, so I need to get my vehicle out of the garage for this. So let's say you arrested someone, you want to place them inside your vehicle. What you are going to do is that drag, go to the vehicle, and in vehicle. Now the suspect is inside the vehicle, as you see, and you are now able to transport them to the station. Once you get there, go ahead and out of vehicle. Now they're out of the vehicle. Sometimes it gets buggy and there is like the animation of the suspect being handcuffed doesn't exist, or it gets cancelled, but they are still handcuffed. They cannot move, they cannot do anything. Alright, so once you get done with everything, or you jail them or whatever, you want to now unhandcuff them, or you detain someone and you investigate the scene and they seem to be not guilty, so now you are handcuff them, what you do is exactly approach them and handcuff, and the animation will start for them being unhandcuffed. And now they're good to go. If they want to move, they're able to move. Alright. So fines. Fines is a menu that we will be using often. So let's say you are charging someone with it, like you have a traffic stop and you stop them, they were speeding or they were running a red light or a stop sign whatsoever. You go ahead and see what kind of offense they committed, and you go look for that. Let's say they ran or they were misusing the horn, so you go and misuse of a horn and you charge them with that. Now they have been charged with misuse of a horn. If you go ahead and check their unpaid invoices, you are able to see what charges they have left. If you have a suspect who has too many unpaid invoices, this is something you could charge them with, having too many unpaid bills or invoices. And basically that's it. Once they pay the offense, you get a notification. It says you received a payment of $30. You did not really receive the money. The money goes directly to the department, but it lets you know that this person has paid it. And that's basically it. We have jail menu, and this is something we're gonna discuss down at the jail cells. We also have a revive, vehicle info, impound vehicle props, and yeah, that's it. So let's go with vehicle info. Let's say I'm approaching this car. I want to see, like, I want to run the plates number. I want to see the vehicle info. So you just start close to the car and you hit vehicle info, and now you're able to see the plates number and the owner. Once you see that, you can always confirm it with the suspect ID. If you are conducting a traffic stop or you think that he might have stolen the car, you always can go ahead, search him for his ID. So check ID. This is red. This is obviously his car, so everything checks out. Everything is good. The next thing we are going to discuss is revive. So let's say you are fighting and thing is going down, people are shooting, and you have people down. So when we are going to revive someone, what you always make sure of is that you make sure that no EMS is on duty and no fire department or firefighters are on duty, because we don't want to step on anybody's toes. They do their job. We appreciate having them in the city, and therefore this is their job to revive. But if the situation requires you to revive someone immediately because you have no EMS on or no firefighter, you just go approach the suspect or the dead body and you go press revive. Now we don't have anyone dead, so it's not gonna let us. Say we have this dead person, so all you do is that you go next to them and you press revive, and the CPR animation will start, which is exactly like that, I believe. Just like that. But this is just an emote. Keep it in the chat. The one you have in your F2 menu that actually revives people, but you will look just like that when you're reviving someone. Alright. Vehicle is something you do after you arrest someone and the vehicle they were driving is just left on the street. At the meanwhile, I want to advise you not to use it because the script of this is a little bit sketchy or buggy. So if you call for a tow trucker, an NPC one, what's gonna happen is that he's gonna come to the scene and make a bigger mess because a bigger mess, because what he's gonna do is that he's gonna keep driving in circles with his tow truck and it's gonna just be a huge mess. So just let's not use this at the moment until we get this figured, but this is an option that will help us for sure. The next thing we're gonna have is props. Props are the, let's say, interaction traffic or something. So we have cones, we have barriers, and we have spike strips, we have box, and we have box of cash, which is right there. So cones and barriers, something we're gonna be using often to block roads and stuff like that. Spike strips are something that we are going to use to disable a suspect's car while in pursuit and something like that. So we're gonna have a unit on some point of the street setting up spike strips. Boxes and box of cash, they are only for RP sakes, like RP scenarios when you're, if if in case you find some dirty money on them, so you get them to the interview room and you place the cash on the table so that they see the evidence you have. In order to take everything away, you just approach, like get close to it and press E and it will disappear. And now it's gone. The props are tricky, so it has like a radius. If you get out of this radius, you will not be able to get them off the way. So whenever you place a prop, you make sure you stick close to them. Also, the one who places the prop is the only one who can take it. I mean, let's see. So I placed the cone right there. It doesn't matter how many officers on duty we have right here. If all of them, they're not able to remove this one, except for me because I'm the one who placed it, because that's how the script works. So it it is your ID that gives the information that this cone should be removed, and anyone who has different ID will not be able to move it. And even you, if you relog after placing a prop, your ID will change and therefore you'll not be able to remove it. The props are really helpful, but this is something you should not be doing on your own. Never go and place any prop, especially the spike strips. Never do so unless you have been told to from a higher up or a superior officer. Never take this on your own. Whatever happens, like it doesn't matter how the chance is tempting and how you want to try this, just don't do it unless higher up told you to do so. Alright, next thing we will be doing is the jail cell or the jail menu. So I'm gonna arrest or handcuff the suspect. Now he's handcuffed. Let's say I read him his rights. Now I'm gonna drag him and go to the jail cells. Alright, so when we go down there, from this room, make sure you keep these doors always locked. This is a really important thing to keep in mind. Also this door. Alright, so let's say, as we told you previously, this is jail cell 1, this is 2, and this is 3. So let's say we are going to place him in 3. So we don't need to unlock it, we can just move him through the wall and undrag him. Now he's handcuffed, but we're not dragging him. So what we do next is that we go fines. We charge him with whatever fines he committed. Let's say attempt of murder of an LAO or bank robbery, whatsoever. And now we want to know how much time you want to give him. There's a really easy way. If you forget every time, you can just go on your tablet and click on those. And now you should be able to see every offense we have with time on it. So let's say he was doing Grand Theft Auto. This is 20 months, which is 20 minutes basically. So now we decide to give him 20 minutes. I'm not gonna go give him 20 minutes because he's here just for the video purposes, but I'm gonna let you know how you do that. So you go on jail menu, click that. The first thing that shows that his name, so you make sure you are jailing the right person, not anyone else by mistake. Once you make sure this is the person, you go in, you flex your backspace muscle, and now you are in the jail menu. This is the cell number 3, so you go ahead and jail cell number 3, and after that you insert the time you want to jail them for. Let's say you want to give him 20, you just insert 20 and you hit enter. You're going to give him 1 minute, you just insert 1 minute and hit enter, and so on and so on. I'm going to jail this person because, but actually, let's jail him. So now I decided to jail this guy. I've confiscated all his weapons. I'm going to go ahead and unhandcuff him. While I'm unhandcuffing him, I will go to jail menu, make sure that this is the right person, backspace, jail cell number 3, give him 1 minute, enter. Now he is jailed for 1 minute. After 1 minute, he will be good to go and he will spawn outside of the police department. So basically that's it regarding the F2 menu. and we're gonna move forward.